starting off with Premier jumpers. You don't like the whole opening. Poor collection at number 2. Yeah, so I think at number 2 you run into a classic problem, and that's really being unsure of where you're going. Wherever you're headed, you need to set that line. And when the dog is over the jump, you're facing this way, and your feet are drifting this way. I expect the dog to go like this. Right? And that's exactly what your dog gives. Okay, so how is this going to be different? So here's where I really like what Jennifer does. She really crowds this wing here. She's going to even hold a hand right here, and then that really forces the dog to put in the extra stride. As the dog takes off, then she leaves. You have so much time and no distance to travel, right? You literally only have to take one step in this direction. That this poor direction and drifting backwards is a real killer, right? It basically just cues the dog to extend. So this is not enough to cue collection, right? And so this is something that needs to be taught. I think watching the demo videos from Jennifer on these kinds of positional leadouts will be very, very helpful to you. If you don't know where to see those, let me know. Here, you're turning in the flat. So usually you're going to want to rear cross before that. And then you end up, catching a bar there. Very tough weave entry. Beautiful work in here, especially with the rear cross. Poor line to a backside. Let's take a look. Okay, so what's happening here is you need a bypass cue, right? Because what you're doing, you have to come in so that the dog does not take the jump this way. You want the dog to kick out. But as soon as you come in, right, in classic agility, non-international agility, that tells the dog, okay, we're not taking this jump at all. And so the dog is immediately going to start looking at other opportunities, right? And now the dog was already on a different line. So how do we keep our dog with us but not going over the jump the wrong way? Well, that's where we need the bypass cue. So as soon as the dog is taking off right here, I'm using my bypass cue. And the dog's going to know, okay, stay with her. Don't cut in. Stay with her because she's definitely going to show me a backside. 100% of the time I do this with a dog, I'm doing a backside, right? And so the dog learns to stay with me nice and tight. So that's something that can be taught. Here you get caught opening up, like rotating your foot out, which flicks the dog this way a little bit long. You need to be moving in this direction, not putting a foot back this way. So I'm not surprised you get a wide turn there, which leads to a bar. I think that's fine, and that's fine as well. All right, let's go ahead and get in Premier Standard. And then probably we'll split it into one more video as well. A little bit of wide turn here. Oh, okay, we are going to the third option. Okay, never mind. I like that turn fine. Definitely behind and late. Here's the dog frozen over the air. So again, this is the same problem we had on the other one, right? Basically, you're having problems on what we call push-throughs. So push-throughs can be handled from this side as a pull-through, where you pull the dog in the gap and then rear cross them. Or you get to the other side, and that's a push. You're pushing the dog through this gap. So push through, pull through, I think you need work there. Just getting a comfort level. I don't think it's something that you really have to teach the dog so much as practice with the dog. That's a very nice rear cross. A little late on the decel here, so you get a little bit of a wide turn, but a beautiful job by the dog there. You hit the jump, so you got the tunnel. So again, this is a bypass cue. Have to have a bypass cue. This is a classic trap. This gets dogs in international agility all the time, every single year without fail. This applies, the Canadians have a bypass cue. Most of Europe does not, right? So European dogs just boom, 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 into the tunnel constantly. And we want to use the bypass cue, and that just tells the dog, hey, stay with us. Don't cut across this jump this way, but we are going to do a backside. So again, adding that bypass cue on those backsides where you have traps in the background. Okay, so this is that spot that I was telling you where it'd be beneficial to see how Jennifer does it. Let's take a look. So this turn with you leaving early is better than your other one, right, on the push through. Okay, similar awkward line is in standard. I think the rear cross here is good. I think you handled this line perfectly fine. I think the ultimate way to handle this line is to be ahead and then blind cross in here before the panel. Let me see. Yeah, definitely blind cross here is the winner. So it's perfectly fine as getting the job done because you're far enough ahead where the push is very subtle. It's not disruptive in my opinion to the dog. They do look briefly at the weaves, so I do like the blind cross there to get the fastest possible line. Okay, I'm going to stop this video here.